Hello fellow producer, this is Onesto, and today we're looking at Action Strings 2. It's a full string ensemble plugin from Native Instruments. Native Instruments, they present this plugin as being the perfect tool for writing scores for action-packed films and trailers. And I'm not gonna lie, I've never written music like that before, but I wanted to see if this instrument could fit in to my own electronic productions and hopefully yours. So here's what you should know before buying Action Strings 2. When I first opened up Action Strings 2, I was a little caught off guard because I haven't used an instrument plugin like this before. I was expecting it to be like a set of different string sections, and within each section you have different ways of playing each string, but Action Strings 2 is different. Yes, it's an instrument, but I feel like the real strength of the plugin comes out when you start to use it as a composition tool. So let's talk about these two sides to Action Strings. How's Action Strings as an instrument? I think the quality of the sample library is good. It totally passes for something I would want to use in my own pop or electronic music productions. So you have 6 different single articulations, but I want to show you the 3 that I think you'll be using the most. So the first is your staccato. It sounds something like this. Yeah, so that's kind of nice and quick. The other articulation you'll be using a lot is the sustain here. Cool. And then the other you might use a whole bunch is a tremolo. It sounds like this. So are they the best sounding string ensemble ever? No, probably not. I mean, I have some Spitfire audio libraries that make you want to cry whenever you play around with them. But with Action Strings, I think it is passable for tracks and remixes that I would want to make. Another great thing about Action Strings 2 as an instrument is that it's a big improvement from Action Strings 1. In this update, we get 5 different mic positions that you can see here. We have mix, close, spot, tree, and far. And you also have a few round robins within the phrases and a couple of the articulations. And that's a big step up from Action Strings 1. In the previous version, you only had 1 articulation, you only had 1 mic position, and you had like very few round robins. So it's clear that Action Strings 2 does offer a whole lot more. But now I want to talk about what are the things that I don't like about Action Strings 2 as an instrument. So the first thing I'm a little bummed about is the effects within this instrument is super shallow. Here, let me show you. So there are 2 effects. You have your equalizer and your reverb. In your equalizer, you have 3 bands here, which is helpful, but I wish there was, you can get a bit more nitpicky with it. And then you also have a reverb where you have a few different reverb models. So that's cool. But the only control you have is this return knob. You can't control how big the space is, how long the reverb tail is, the pre-delay. All those things aren't really here. It's just sort of this return knob, and that's really it. And here's the other thing that I wish Action Strings 2 was better at. Yeah, you have 6 different single articulations, but it's always going to be a full string ensemble, which means you don't have any like solo strings. You don't have just a group of strings like violins, cellos, violas. So as I was playing with this, there were quite a few times where I wish I could have just focused on violins or just focus on cellos, but instead with this Action Strings 2, you're always having to use a full string ensemble. And that might sound like a lot of bad news, but here's a fortunate thing. There's a feature in Action Strings 2 that just makes it feel much more unlimited. So now let me talk about Action Strings 2 as a composition tool. After using this plugin for a couple of weeks, I think that what this plugin offers as a composition tool is a reason why you would want to buy this plugin. In fact, when I think of this plugin as just an instrument, it feels very limited. But when I think of it as an instrument plus this composition tool, then the potential just grows incredibly and it starts to become more and more valuable. All right, so let me just play a section of the song that I'm working on. I just grabbed like some emo vocals and combined it with orchestra instruments, and this is what it sounds like.
Tried so hard. I tried so
And I want to focus on just this arp. So I have this cool arp, this cool string arp right here. But I wish that I could have some pizzicato strings playing it instead, something like this. So I want that instrument to be playing that arp. And you know, of course, the problem would be that Action Strings is only this full ensemble orchestra, this full string ensemble. But it has a solution to allow you to transfer this, what you created in Action Strings. You can create that as MIDI and plop it anywhere else you like. So this is what you do. You click these little notes here. And then I am going to just play through this loop. And right now it's recording this as MIDI. Cool, so now I can click and drag it. Click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Here we go. Bam. Let me just make sure. Cool, and it's all right here. You see, these are like these MIDI notes, and there's even the velocity in here that's represented here. So grab this velocity, pasted it here in the MIDI, and now I have it in the pizzicato. And I can just turn that one off.
I tried so hard.
Honestly, without this feature, without this MIDI drag and drop feature, I probably wouldn't like Action Strings 2 a whole lot. I would be really bummed out about it. But now, it's the fact that you can create the MIDI in here and drag it directly to another instrument lane is so good. Because the thing is, like, you can get really customized. You can get like really nitpicky inside of Action Strings 2, make these really cool, just like articulations and phrases. But to only have it, which is full strings, that's just so limiting. So the fact that you can export it to another instrument super quickly allows this plugin to become more than just the instrument itself. Okay, so even though the MIDI drag and drop tool is my favorite feature, we gotta at least talk about the phrase editor within Action Strings 2. The phrase editor is really the meat and potatoes of this plugin. So yeah, I have to show you what it's like. All right, so let's say we have this section here. So you're listening to this and you're like, you know what? I want more strings in this. Yeah, you're like, you know what? 4 or 5 layers of strings is enough. I want one other. I want to take this over the edge. This is what you can do. So if you click this little magnifying glass here, you're able to choose from all these different phrases. I'm going to choose rhythmic figures 21. So this is what we have. I'm only focusing on the high ensemble. I'm ignoring the low end because that's already covered. So now I can play something like this. I'm just going to do chord progression with octaves. So yeah, so that's cool, but let's make it even more interesting. So now if you just click editor, you can click one of these, double click one, and then you can replace this, I guess step, yeah, it's kind of like a step sequencer. I can replace this step with something else. So let's see, what can I do here? I want a trill to happen, and I want it to be, yeah, so now let's hear that. Cool, so we got this little trill happening. I know I played the wrong note, but that's all good. And then let's also grab something right here, and let's add in, let's see what that sounds like. Here we go. Yeah, I don't like that, so I'm gonna click this. All right, it's a bit much. I'm gonna mute this one here, and let's hear it all. Flying around. Cool. Do I like it? Not really, but what's really cool is that I was able to create this phrase really quickly. Yes, I was just like clicking like buttons here, and I was able to come up with that, which is pretty great. So even though the experiment kind of failed a little bit, I hope that you're starting to see the potential of this plugin. Before I share if I think this plugin is worth it, let's talk about the price. Action Strings 2 at full price is $299 US at Native Instruments. And that's a lot of money. And if it's out of budget, wait for a sale. At the time of this video, Action Strings 2 is not included in the complete bundle. I think it's like complete 13 right now. But I can imagine it being included in complete 14. So if you want to be cost effective about it in the long run, I would just wait to see if this is included in complete 14, and then you can get it along with practically everything else that Native Instrument creates for a discounted price. So now let's talk about the big question, is Action Strings worth it? Remember, it's $2.99 at full price, so I really want to offer to you like my best insights on this. I mentioned before that the reason why you would want to buy this plugin is for the phrase editor and the MIDI drag and drop feature. So if you're someone who's interested in this plugin just for its string ensemble, then I would recommend looking for a cheaper alternative. But if you're someone who wants to learn how to write action scores, or you want a composition tool that'll help you sketch out something really quick for an exciting cinematic moment, then that's where I can see this plugin becoming more valuable to you. And since I'm not that person, I'm not a composer, I can't definitively say that yes, this is worth it. But I can't imagine that this plugin would be valuable for some of you out there. And that's what you should know about Action Strings too. I really hope that you found the insights and answers you were looking for, and I really, really hope that we can hang out again in the future. Later.